Hi, Alan Stratton from Woodturning. This is the third in a series where I'm exploring making bowls from limbs or limb bowls. In this one was honey locust, and the bowl was cut very close to the sapwood on this side and then out to this side, about 9 inches, so the walls were actually quite shallow. I didn't manage to save the bark on this one. This one had a special characteristic in that it learned a new trick. Went on to this one, which was the neighbor on the branch, but this time put a little bit deeper in towards the heartwood, but not a whole lot. It's a little bit shorter, so the sides to go out from end to end were a little bit steeper. I kept the walls just a little bit thicker and violated one principle here and left them even a little bit wider here on the V. So this one actually resembles a bird's beak, and I think turned out quite nicely also. Ran out of the locust, that was all that I had on the branch, so this is from, I think, maple, but I'm not positive sure. So this one, in effect, the tenon was mounted and the wings were clear here past the pith, which is right here. Well, so this is kind of an emerging bowl this way in the wood, and then more of a standard bowl here, except that it has wings. It's an interesting exercise also. So which begs the question, what else could you do with a bowl? These are 3 basic forms here, but what else could you do with a limb that would make an interesting turning? But for now, let's turn this one. This wood looks like a limb, but it's actually the trunk of a small dead tree from my backyard. It died last year, but I cut it down only a couple of days ago. I'm not sure what it is, but it looks like some sort of maple. Since I plan to later mount it using an expansion joint, I thought about just drilling a large hole on the drill press. Then I thought it better to start on the lathe where I could adjust centers and position before being locked down by the hole previously drilled. So I'm mounting the wood between centers, trying to keep it in the same rotation plane. I measured halfway for the drive center, then tried to position the live center exactly opposite on the limb. For now, I'm relieving a little from the bottom, but mainly I want to cut a tenon in solid wood. Now the turning axes are defined, and I have a solid mount. For now, I want to round off the ends of the limb. I'm disappointed that the wood is splintering off the trailing edge no matter what I do. The bark is also long gone. It came off in large pieces. I'll have to settle for a live edge and do something about the ends later. Next, cut an expansion mortise into what will be the interior of the bowl. I'm drilling it first, then enlarging it with a box scraper. Now I'm mounting the bowl with an expansion mount. This is where I had thought I could have skipped a couple of steps. Now I'm glad to have done it the way I did to have better balance. I cut off the original tenon, which was more in sapwood. Then form the exterior with my large bowl gouge. I'm thankful for this being semi-dry wood. It's a bit softer in the state. On the wings, I'm cutting a lot of air. I'm making sure I keep my hands on my side of the tool rest. Otherwise, I'd risk a nasty whack to my hands or more. It's time to sand the exterior. There's a lot of hand sanding on this one. Now for the interior mounted to that new tenon on the bottom side. This would be standard hollowing except for the wings and cutting a lot of the air on this side yet again. I have to be careful again on this side to keep on my side of the tool rest. Most work now is with my large bowl gouge, but the very middle bottom is heavy scraper territory. Then again, a lot of sanding, some power, and a lot by hand. For the foot, I could try pressing the bowl against the faceplate with the live center, but that leaves a small nub to carve off or sand off. So instead, I've chosen to carve off the foot with a rasp bit in a right angle tool. This, followed by a little more sanding, finishes the bowl. Then sign and sand a bit more. A bath in walnut oil provides a good matte finish that seems appropriate for this bowl. This completes my limb bowl trio, each with a little bit different profile, a little bit deeper into the limb for the bottom, a little bit different on the edges. Spring pruning time is a great time to be on the lookout for wood for different turning projects. Each of my trio has its own character, its own personality. Each tells a little different story about itself. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe on my website, tell your friends, and send me your comments and questions. Every week I make a new wood turning video and add to the over 400 videos to choose from on my website. 8 years worth. But please wear your full face shield anytime the lathe is running. Until next week's video, this is Alan Stratton from As Wood Turns.